The text came on a Tuesday morning while I was reviewing quarterly reports for my real estate investment company, Sunset Properties LLC. Elena, we've made our decision. Moving to Florida next month. Found the perfect condo in Miami Beach. Finally away from your drama. Don't try to contact us. Dad. Attached were photos of a stunning oceanfront condo with floor-to-ceiling windows, marble countertops, and a wraparound balcony overlooking Biscayne Bay. I recognized it immediately. Unit 2847 at Azure Bay Towers. 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,400 square feet of luxury living space. I should know, I'd purchased the entire building 6 months ago. My parents, Miguel and Carmen Garcia, had been threatening to move away for 2 years. Every family gathering ended with the same refrain: "We're tired of Elena's attitude. She thinks she's too good for the family. Maybe we should just start fresh somewhere else." The drama they referred to was my refusal to enable my brother Carlos's gambling addiction and my insistence on setting boundaries with family members who treated me like a personal ATM. Apparently, saying no to constant requests for money made me the problem child. I scrolled through the photos they'd sent. The condo was beautiful, worth about $850,000, with HOA fees of $1,200 monthly. They were renting it for $4,500 a month, a premium price for a premium location. What they didn't know was that their landlord, listed in all documents as Sunset Properties LLC, was actually me. I'd been building my real estate portfolio for 8 years, starting with small residential properties and gradually expanding into luxury developments. Sunset Properties now owned over $40 million in assets across Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. But to my family, I was just Elena who worked in real estate and was always too busy for family. My phone buzzed with more texts from Mom. "The condo is perfect, Elena. 3 bedrooms, ocean views, resort-style amenities. We're finally going to be happy. The neighborhood is so elegant. Not like here where we have to deal with certain people's negativity." I smiled and opened my laptop. Time to check on my tenants. I pulled up the lease agreement for Unit 2847. Miguel and Carmen Garcia had signed a 1-year lease 3 weeks ago with first month last month and security deposit totaling $13,500. The lease included a clause allowing for termination with 30 days notice for any violation of building policies or at the owner's discretion. I called my property management company, Coastal Management Group. "Good morning, this is Elena Rodriguez calling about Azure Bay Towers." "Ms. Rodriguez. Good to hear from you. How can I help?" "I need to discuss Unit 2847. The Garcia lease." "Of course. They just moved in last week. Lovely couple, very excited about the ocean views." "I'm sure they are. Unfortunately, I need to terminate their lease." "Terminate it? May I ask why?" "Personal reasons. Please provide them with 30 days notice as outlined in Section 12 of the lease agreement." "Ms. Rodriguez, they just paid their deposit and first month's rent. Are you sure about this?" "I'm very sure. Please handle this professionally, but I want them out within 30 days. "Of course, ma'am. I'll prepare the notice and deliver it today." "Thank you. And please have them contact me directly if they have questions." I hung up and waited. My parents thought they were escaping to Florida to get away from their problematic daughter. They had no idea their problematic daughter was their landlord. 37 minutes later, my phone rang. Dad's number. "Elena? Elena, we need to talk." "Hello, Dad. How's the move going?" "Elena, something's wrong. Our landlord is trying to evict us." "Evict you? That seems extreme. You just moved in." "That's what I said. We paid everything up front, we haven't broken any rules, and now they're saying we have to leave in 30 days. "Did they give you a reason?" "They said it's at the owner's discretion." "What does that even mean?" I pretended to think about it. That's strange. What's the name of the property management company?" "Coastal Management Group." "Elena, we spent our savings on this move. The deposit, the moving truck, new furniture. If we get kicked out, we're ruined." "That does sound stressful, Dad." "Elena, I know we've had our differences, but you work in real estate. Do you know anyone who might be able to help us?" This was Rich. The man who just texted me about getting away from my drama was now asking for my help. "I might know some people in the Miami market. What's the address of your condo?" "Azure Bay Towers, Unit 2847. It's this beautiful building right on the water. Azure Bay Towers. That name sounds familiar. Elena, please. We need help. Can you make some calls? Dad, let me look into this and get back to you. Thank you, Elena. I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but family is family. Family is family. Interesting how that philosophy only emerged when they needed something from me. I called Mom next. Elena. Thank God you called. Did your father tell you about our situation? He mentioned something about a lease issue. It's a nightmare, Elena. They're throwing us out for no reason. Mom, that doesn't sound legal. Have you tried talking to the property manager? Yes. Some woman named Jennifer. She was polite but firm. Said the decision came from the owner and it's final. The owner must have their reasons. But we don't know what they are. Elena, we moved here to start fresh and now we might lose everything. Start fresh from what, Mom? There was a pause. You know what I mean. No, I don't. Please explain what you needed to start fresh from. Elena, don't make this about our family issues. We need help right now. Our family issues. Is that what you call your decision to move to Florida to get away from my drama? Elena. Mom, you texted me this morning saying you were finally going to be happy because you'd be away from my negativity. Now you're calling asking for help with the same real estate expertise you were so eager to escape from. Elena, we were upset. We didn't mean it the way it sounded. How did you mean it? We needed space. Some time to figure things out. And now we need our daughter's help. I let that sink in for a moment. Mom, I'll see what I can find out about the owner of your building. Thank you, Elena. You're the only one who might be able to fix this. After hanging up, I sat in my office looking out at the Atlanta skyline. My parents had spent 2 years complaining about my attitude, my boundaries, my refusal to enable Carlos's gambling problem. They'd made it clear that I was the source of family drama and that life would be better without me. But the moment they faced a real problem, I was suddenly their only hope. My assistant knocked on the door. Ms. Rodriguez? Your 2 p.m. is here. Thanks, Maria. Before they come in, can you pull up the ownership documents for Azure Bay Towers? Of course. Any particular reason? I want to review the tenant policies. That evening, I called my property manager. Jennifer, this is Elena Rodriguez. How did the Garcia family take the eviction notice? Not well, I'm afraid. They're very upset and confused. They keep asking to speak with the owner directly. What did you tell them? That the owner prefers to remain anonymous and handle all communication through our office. Perfect. Have they mentioned trying to find alternative housing? Mrs. Garcia asked if we knew of any other available units in the area. I gave her a list of comparable properties, but honestly, Ms. Rodriguez, they're all much more expensive than what they were paying here. I see. Ms. Rodriguez, may I ask why you're terminating their lease? They seem like ideal tenants, quiet, clean, financially stable. Jennifer, let's just say it's a personal matter that requires them to find alternative housing. Of course. Will you be looking for new tenants for the unit? Not immediately. I may have other plans for it. The next morning, my phone was buzzing with messages from various family members. Apparently, word had spread about my parents' housing crisis. Carlos texted, Elena, Mom and Dad are freaking out about getting evicted. Can you help them find a place? My Aunt Maria called, Elena, your parents are so stressed. They're talking about moving back here, but they already gave up their lease. My cousin Sophia messaged, I heard about the condo situation. That's so weird that they'd get kicked out for no reason. Do you think someone has it out for them? I found that last message particularly interesting. The family was starting to wonder if this was personal. Dad called again that afternoon. Elena, we've been looking at other places all day. Everything comparable is at least $6,000 a month, and most places want 3 months up front. That's a lot of money, Dad. Elena, we can't afford that. We spent everything we had on this move. What about coming back to Atlanta? We can't. We gave up our lease, sold half our furniture. Elena, we're trapped. That sounds like a difficult situation. Elena, you said you'd look into the owner of our building. Did you find out anything? I did some research, Dad. And? The building is owned by a company called Sunset Properties LLC. Can you contact them directly? Dad, what would you want me to say to them? I don't know. Ask them why they're kicking us out? See if there's anything we can do to fix the situation. And if they won't change their mind? Then I don't know what we'll do. I could hear the defeat in his voice. For the first time in years, my father sounded vulnerable instead of angry. Dad, can I ask you something? Of course. When you decided to move to Florida, did you consider how it might affect our relationship? What do you mean? I mean, you texted me that you were finally going to be happy because you'd be away from my drama. Did you think about how that would make me feel? There was a long silence. Elena, we were frustrated. The family has been so tense lately. Because of me? Because of the situation with Carlos and the money issues and everyone taking sides. Dad, I didn't create Carlos's gambling problem. I just refused to enable it. I know that. And I didn't create money issues. I set boundaries about constantly being asked to solve everyone's financial problems. Elena. For 2 years, you've made me feel like the problem child because I won't give Carlos money for his debts and won't pay for everyone's emergencies. That's not how we meant it. But that's how it felt, Dad. And when things got uncomfortable, your solution was to move to another state to get away from me. Elena, what do you want me to say? I want you to understand that actions have consequences. What does that mean? It means that when you tell your daughter you need to get away from her drama, she might not be available when you need her help. Elena, are you saying you won't help us? I took a deep breath. Dad, I'm saying that relationships work both ways. You can't push me away when it's convenient and pull me back when you need something. So you're going to let us lose our home? Dad, I'm going to let you experience the consequences of your choices. Elena, please. We're your family. Family. Right. The family you needed to escape from. After hanging up, I sat with my thoughts for a while. My parents were learning a hard lesson about burning bridges, but I wasn't cruel. I didn't want them to be homeless or financially ruined. I wanted them to understand that I wasn't their problem, I was their solution, and I deserved to be treated accordingly. That evening I called Jennifer back. Jennifer, I've been thinking about the Garcia situation. Yes, ma'am. I'd like to offer them an alternative arrangement. What kind of arrangement? They can stay in the unit, but the lease terms need to change. How so? First, the rent increases to market rate $6,200 per month. That's quite a bit more than they're currently paying. Second, they sign a month-to-month lease instead of annual. No long-term security. I see. Third, they agree to specific behavioral clauses about respecting property management decisions and maintaining positive tenant relationships. And if they don't agree to these terms? Then the eviction stands. Should I present this offer to them? Yes, but make it clear that these terms are non-negotiable and the offer expires in 48 hours. I'll call them this evening. The next day Mom called me in tears. Elena, they offered to let us stay, but the rent is almost double. That sounds like market rate for a luxury oceanfront condo, Mom. Elena, we can't afford that. Where are we supposed to get an extra $1,700 a month? I don't know, Mom. Maybe the same place you plan to get rent money when you moved to Florida without any concrete income plan. Elena, don't be mean. We're desperate. Mom, I'm not being mean. I'm being realistic. Elena, do you think you could help us with the rent difference? And there was the same request that had caused so much family drama back home. They'd moved to Florida to escape my boundaries around money, and now they were asking me to pay their rent. Mom, didn't you move to Florida to get away from family financial issues? This is different. This is an emergency. How is it different? Because we don't have any other options. Mom, you always have options. They're just not options you want to consider. Like what? Like moving back to Atlanta. Like Dad getting a part-time job. Like downsizing to a more affordable place. Elena, we're 62 years old. We shouldn't have to start over. But I should have to pay for your choices? You're our daughter. I'm your daughter when you need money. When you wanted to escape drama, I was the problem child you needed to get away from. Elena, we made a mistake. Is that what you want to hear? What I want to hear is that you understand why your actions hurt me. Mom was quiet for a moment. Elena, we didn't think about how our words would affect you. You didn't think at all, Mom. You just decided that your problems were my fault and that life would be better without me. We were wrong. Were you? Yes. Elena, we were wrong. We need you. We've always needed you. But you don't want to need me. No, that's not. Elena, it's complicated. It's not complicated, Mom. You want the benefits of having a successful daughter who can solve problems, but you don't want to treat me with the respect that comes with being a successful adult. That's not true. Isn't it? For years I've been the family member everyone turns to when there's a financial crisis. But I'm also the one who gets blamed when I set boundaries or refuse to enable bad behavior. Elena. Mom, Carlos has a gambling addiction. Enabling him isn't helping him. Setting boundaries with family members who only contact me when they need money isn't being dramatic. It's being healthy. I know you're trying to help. But you moved to Florida to get away from my help. We moved to Florida because we thought maybe if we weren't constantly dealing with Carlos's problems and everyone asking for money, maybe things would be easier. And how's that working out for you? She started crying. It's not. Elena, we made a huge mistake. What mistake was that? We blamed you for problems you didn't create. We pushed away the one person who's been trying to hold this family together. And now we're in Florida, about to be homeless, with no one to turn to except the daughter we just told we needed to get away from. I let her cry for a moment. Mom, do you know who owns Azure Bay Towers? Some company called Sunset Properties. Why? Because, Mom, I am Sunset Properties. The silence that followed was profound. What? Sunset Properties LLC is my company. I own Azure Bay Towers. I own the condo you're living in. Elena, what are you saying? I'm saying that when you moved to Florida to escape your dramatic daughter, you unknowingly became my tenant. Oh my God. The eviction notice came from me, Mom. Elena. You wanted to get away from me, so I gave you the opportunity to experience what life is like without me. Elena, you can't throw your own parents out on the street. I'm not throwing you out on the street. I'm giving you the same choice I've been giving Carlos. Take responsibility for your actions or face the consequences. What does that mean? It means you can stay in the condo if you agree to the new lease terms. Elena, we can't afford the higher rent. Then you'll need to make some adjustments. What kind of adjustments? Dad can get a part-time job. You can budget more carefully. You can ask Carlos to contribute to household expenses instead of asking him to contribute to his gambling debts. Elena. Or you can move somewhere more affordable. But all our stuff is here, we just moved. Mom, these are the consequences of making major life decisions based on emotion instead of planning. Elena, we get it. We made mistakes. Can't you just forgive us and let us stay at the original rent? Mom, forgiveness and consequences are two different things. What do you mean? I can forgive you for hurting my feelings and treating me like the family problem, but I can't pretend that your actions don't have real-world results. Elena, please. We're your parents. You're my parents who told me you needed to get away from my drama. Now you're experiencing what getting away from me actually costs. We didn't know. You didn't ask. For 8 years I've been building a real estate business. For 8 years, you've introduced me to people as Elena who works in real estate, like I'm showing houses on weekends. We didn't know how successful you were. Because you never asked. You never showed interest in my work, my goals, my achievements. You only paid attention when you needed something from me. Elena, what do you want from us? I want respect. I want acknowledgement that I'm not the family problem, I'm the family solution. I want appreciation instead of resentment. You have that. Do I? Because 3 days ago, you texted me that you were finally going to be happy because you'd be away from me. Elena, we were wrong. Completely wrong. Mom, here's what's going to happen. You're going to talk to Dad. You're going to figure out how to afford the market rent for your luxury condo, or you're going to find somewhere more affordable to live. Elena. And if you decide to stay, you're going to treat me like a landlord as well as a daughter. That means respecting my business decisions and understanding that I'm not your personal ATM. And if we can't make it work, then you'll move back to Atlanta and we'll rebuild our relationship based on mutual respect instead of financial dependency. Elena, I don't know what to say. Say that you understand that actions have consequences and that pushing people away has costs. I understand. Say that you're going to start treating me like an adult instead of like a problem child. I will, Elena. We will. And say that you're going to appreciate what I bring to this family instead of resenting it. Elena, we do appreciate you. We didn't know how to show it. 2 weeks later I got a text from Dad. Elena, we've decided to take the new lease terms. I got a part-time job with a property management company here. Turns out my experience in construction is valuable. We're making it work. That's good to hear, Dad. Elena, I need to tell you something. What's that? I'm proud of you. I'm proud that you built a business I didn't even know about. I'm proud that you set boundaries even when it was hard. And I'm proud that you taught us a lesson we needed to learn. What lesson was that? That you're not our problem child. You're our most successful child. And we were idiots not to see that. Thanks, Dad. Elena, can I ask you something? Sure. How long have you owned our building? 6 months. So when we told you we were moving to Florida, you were moving into property I already owned. Jesus, Elena. We really are idiots. You're learning, Dad. That's what matters. 6 months later, my parents were thriving in Miami. Dad's part-time job had turned into a full-time position as a project manager. Mom had started a small catering business. They were paying market rent, respecting lease terms, and treating me like both their daughter and their landlord. But most importantly, they were treating me like an adult who deserved respect instead of like a problem child who caused drama. Carlos eventually got help for his gambling addiction, and the family dynamics improved dramatically once everyone understood that I wasn't going to enable destructive behavior or be blamed for setting healthy boundaries. My parents learned that running away from problems doesn't solve them. It just creates new problems in new places. They learned that their daughter's success was something to be proud of, not something to resent. And they learned that respect is earned through consistent actions, not demanded through family obligation. As for me, I learned that sometimes the best way to teach people your value is to let them experience life without it. Azure Bay Towers became one of my most profitable properties, and Unit 2847 became home to tenants who understood that having a successful daughter wasn't their problem, it was their blessing.